Forget everything you knew about gang wars. Britain's most dangerous men, the Kray twins, understood one thing: reputation kills more effectively than bullets. I'll show you the technology behind their Night of Fear, a psychological method that forced millionaires to give up their businesses with just a glance. This is the story of how fear became London's most expensive currency.
London in the 1960s. The era of the swinging city, miniskirts, and the Beatles. But beneath this glossy surface, another heart was beating: the East End. A neighborhood where a word was worth more than life itself, and silence was a sure sign of trouble. At the center of this universe were two men, identical twins, who turned ordinary gangsterism into high theatrical production. Reggie and Ronnie Kray. Dozens of films have been made about them. Hundreds of books have been written, but we often miss the main point. How did two working-class boxers with little education manage to make the entire London elite, from lords to Hollywood stars, played by their rules? Their main tool was not steel or lead. It was reputation. Today, we will delve into the psychological architecture of their power. We will analyze the tactic they called Night of Fear, and learn how to build an empire using only a glance, a suit, and a chilling presence. The Kray's first rule was, "You must look like you've already won." While other gangsters wore cheap leather jackets or baggy coats, the twins invested in their image. Savile Row, home to the world's finest tailors, became their arsenal. Why would a gangster need a perfect three-piece suit? The psychology is simple. When you look like a millionaire or a politician, people subconsciously start treating you as an equal. They blurred the line between criminal and establishment. But there was a second detail. There were two of them. Psychologists note that the sight of identical twins causes instinctive discomfort in people. It seems unnatural, magical. The Krays used this similarity as a mirror trap. During negotiations, they often sat symmetrically, moved in sync, and even remained silent in unison. Their opponents felt that they were fighting not against a person, but against a single, multi-headed organism that was impossible to figure out.
They didn't just walk into the club. They occupied the space. Reggie was always one step ahead, smiling, affable, the good cop. Ronnie stood frozen behind him, heavy, massive, with the glassy stare of a man who already sees your obituary. It was the classic good cop, bad cop game taken to the extreme. Let's go back to 1964. West End. The most expensive clubs in town. The Krays' rivals, the Richardson's gang from South London, worked rough. They tortured people, used rack and electric shock. The Krays, on the other hand, were more subtle. The Night of Fear method was all about total replacement. Imagine you're a casino owner. It's a normal night, with rich folks sitting at the tables. Suddenly, one by one, people from the firm start walking into the room. 5 people, 10, 20. They don't pull out weapons. They just sit down at all the free tables. They don't play. They just order drinks and watch. They watch the staff, the players, you. After an hour, the atmosphere in the club becomes unbearable. Regular guests begin to feel like intruders at someone else's funeral. They leave. The hall empties. Only the Krays and their silent soldiers remain. It's a psychological blockade. By morning, the owner realizes that these people will come back tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. His business will die not from a bomb explosion, but from a lack of air. And when Reggie Kray walks into the owner's office, he doesn't threaten. He sympathizes. Are you having problems with your customers? We can help restore their sense of security. It was racketeering disguised as patronage. They didn't take the business by force. They made the owner beg them for protection. The Krays understood what modern bloggers only realized decades later: publicity is the best defense. In the 1960s, they became rock stars of the criminal world. They opened their own club, Esmeralda's Barn, which became a place of power. There, Lord Botby drank whiskey with Ronnie Kray, and Reggie discussed business with actors. Why did they need this? The answer is simple: the police are afraid to touch those who are close to the elite. If you arrest Ronnie Kray, you have to explain why a member of parliament was present at his party. This white noise from camera flashes created the illusion of their legitimacy. In the eyes of society, they were guys from the people who made it big. Ronnie went even further. He deliberately exploited rumors about his mental instability. He knew that the fear of a madman was much deeper than the fear of a professional. A professional is predictable. He kills for profit. A madman can kill simply because he doesn't like the color of your tie. Ronnie cultivated this image of a berserker in a suit. His famous long pauses in conversation, when he simply stared through his interlocutor, drained people of all will to resist. People surrendered not because they were beaten, but because their nervous system could not withstand the anticipation of the blow. An empire built on reputation lasts only as long as that reputation remains unblemished. In the case of the Creases, their power was based on the myth of the Fair Kings of London. They were the law where the law was silent. They helped widows, punished pedophiles, and kept their streets safe. But psychological power has a side effect: it is intoxicating. Over time, Ronnie and Reggie began to believe in their own invulnerability. And that was their downfall. When Ronnie shot George Cornell in broad daylight in the Blind Beggar pub for calling him a fat faggot, the gentleman's mask cracked. It wasn't business. It was vulgar hysteria. And when Reggie, egged on by his brother, publicly and brutally murdered Jack McVeigh, their own neighborhood shuddered. They had broken the unspoken agreement. We scare people, but we don't slaughter them in front of your eyes. As soon as fear turned from respectful to repulsive, people began to talk. Witnesses who had remained silent for years lined up at Scotland Yard. The spell was broken. Conclusion: the Kray twins left behind a strange legacy. They proved that power is 90% what people think of you, and only 10% what you can actually do. They ruled London not because they had the most weapons, but because they made everyone believe in their exceptionalism. Their story is a reminder that the most frightening cage is the one we build in our imagination under the influence of someone else's confidence.